So basically, I'm going over a reading that I published. I did it like 3 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. The title of it is "Work at It, but You Got to Play Too," and I wrote this. So let me just briefly read this. If you're living in this world, you understand that we have a zest of something. The motivation of self-preservation, boundary setting, organization, and grounding upholds factors into winning the prize. This world is based off of production. There is no way you can survive if you're not working towards something. When you define success, the point of success is to meet the finish line. People have different things they want to achieve. It could be that a person wants to become a track star. When you think of the life of a track star, it's all about training yourself. I once ran track when I was in school. I played field hockey too. When I was running track, we had to warm up first, followed by other routines. I practiced different yards, the 100, 200, 300, and the 400. Sometimes we had to run for miles to build stamina. When it was time for me to race, I had the adrenaline in me to win. In fact, I was one of the fastest runners. I always had excess energy. I could run so far, even for hours, and I wouldn't even be tired. My point is, when you sculpt your craft, the most important aspect of it, you have to make time for it. It is like if you haven't practiced in a year, the first time in a while after you try, it would be that you are a novice. Think broad on how big the road is and how everyone is on their way to success. Certain explanations to excuses do not help birth more inspiration to your drive. Summarily, this was executed by you since your behavior is always a cannot. When you become Doubting Thomas, it is as if you are a writer having writer's block. When a writer goes through the episode of lack of persevering, they try to induce themselves into some type of activity or thing or place that can possibly make the light bulb turn on for them. When the writer is actually writing on a routine basis, they rarely will have writer's block. Luckily, it seems like slack is the last thing you want to do. Society does not have the time for that. Everything of this world is based of currency. They even have cryptocurrencies for stock. There's no way that we as a nation would not have access to money, and nobody carries money as much as they used to. If we had a blackout, we really would be out of luck because we would not have access to those assets saved. Understand there is a good thing, there is a good and a bad in everything. We can get that misconstrued. There will always be numerous ways out. Besides the fact that women mostly in American society thinks feminism is where the woman has to wear the dirty shoes and that the man can stay home to cook and clean. These types of structure bases can cause destruction in the natural feminine energy. And in that masculine energy in a man, however, not all circumstances would be the same scenario. Because of a certain situation, a couple or a family may have no choice but to do that. The thing about looking at a woman being a mechanic can beat the odds. Not all women can lift heavy things and do mostly harsh labor and hostile working conditions that can somehow result in an injury. Perhaps at the same time, maybe that woman who's a mechanic just had dreams of being one and achieved it. That's what you call beating the odds, not just a sense of classification between the abilities of genders. That is what the problem. We should not be at war over women doing the men work, but trying to find solutions in problem solving and mysteries. There's not so many people that could practically do all things. You would be seen as wasting your time, wasting your life. The point that you are trying to prove cause you to be foreseen as prideful. Setting boundaries, I can't stress enough, portray a comforting outcome because you are securing yourself and your loved ones. So you won't be at a loss. Calculating your expectations while finding easier solutions when you really think about it, that does not really mean you're taking the easier way out. That is the same as using a typewriter than just using a computer and then printing what you typed out. Since you more focus off of originality, the computer in fact redefined and made writing more quicker. Think of all the things the computer helped redefine today. When you make the discovery, that is something that was just found to your knowledge or your eyes. It's differences in how a person takes things in. If I sat there and posted my opinion and then you felt I was talking about you, but actuality, my intent was not on you, that is guilt that you feel about yourself and insecurity of how you think I view you. Sometimes we need moments in our lives to have a intervention on ourselves so that in the next run we don't run into that mistake. Training yourself on top of perfecting your craft can in fact make an outcome and a huge impact. So this was the reading today because I was talking about how, we train in ourselves. Like, when you think of all the stuff that we have to be equipped to in this day and age, we have to be ready for whatever is coming at us. Because if we don't, we're going to fuck up. And you know what I mean? Like, I will sit there and post readings. I mean, I'm not a good editor or whatever, as you can see, but I will post readings for days. You know what I mean? And trust me, I do get exposure. You know what I mean? People do like my posts and stuff like that. But I see how when I post things, it gets circular throughout the internet, which is cool. But at the end of the day, that's still good on my part because I know I'm right. I know the things that I'm saying, I'm not trolling. You know what I mean? I'm being real. Okay, I studied psychology when I was in college. And